What's going on, everybody? Gonna tell y'all this while it's fresh in the brain. Went to my rehab appointment and did some stretches, and what most people don't realize is that when you sit in a wheelchair a lot, your I believe they're called hip flexor muscles, those muscles that right there in your hip, and they're like this all the time. So you got to stretch them back out, and that's really hard to do, But as a normal walking person, you don't even realize none of that stuff, And so today, in my rehab appointment, Joe asked me, he goes, "So what we're gonna work on today?" And I said, "Well, last time I had the two canes that I told you guys about, where it goes around your forearm and then you put your hand on the handle like that, but two of them for me, And last time I got to walk in between the parallel bars, like I just said. But today we went to like a room in the gym, right? And it had this rail going across the top, right? And it attached to a harness. And so my therapist put the harness on me, right? I'm up out the wheelchair, and he and I'm standing on the things as I'm doing it, as he's doing this for me, and then I actually got to walk with the canes and not be in the parallel bars, and for me, it's a personal achievement, because I was able to take steps. Yes, I was gonna mess up some. I messed up some, but that's a given, because think about it. I haven't had to swing my arms and walk like a normal person does in 2.5 years. So you can imagine trying to coordinate that, right foot, left arm, left foot, right arm. It takes you a little bit, to get noticed. I mean, to remember the, how you used to be normal back then, and it was pretty good. And then one of the challenges was, he asked me, "Can I pick things up off the ground?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, how do you do it?" I use my rollator, my rolling walker. I take like a wide stance, right? And then I'm able to bend down and pick whatever up off the floor, And then, like I told y'all, this leg, it has a microchip in it. And these plates are here for, the way I'm standing. So I need to learn to get my balance better and stand up straighter, because if you notice, a lot of people that have walkers, they tend to walk like this, and he's telling me to relax and not be so tense, oh. And so anyway, I was able to do it, y'all, but I did have a couple of mess ups, and it was so funny because, as a natural person, when you start to fall, you can just put your leg back or you grab your hand like that. But when you don't have that, it's like, oh, and then I fell over, almost like some Mission Impossible stuff, and then he was able to pull me back up. So I'm bigger than Joe, and he was able to pull me up, off of the thing, and I got the back standing up and everything like that. And then, he had me look at myself in the mirror so I could, coordinate it. Then he took the mirror away and had me take more steps instead of, walking to the mirror and then coming back, walking to the mirror, coming back, but I'm just backing up. He had me walk the length of the rail, turn around, and then walk back. And then for the most part, y'all, it was all me. I had only the canes and my prosthetic legs to rely on. And then he was like, that's great, because a lot of people don't really catch on that fast, or either they just don't want to do it, And so, I had to tell y'all about that. It was a really good appointment. It was a struggle, but that's what I did. And back it up a little bit. Before I went to the rehab gym, I'm waiting to go in for my appointment, and there's this older couple that come in, and they're talking to the receptionist, right? And I overheard that they've been married for like 54 years, and I think the wife said the week or two before that was what was his birthday, right? So I didn't get a chance to talk to them, you know, for the appointments. But as I'm coming out of the hospital, I saw them, and they were buying something for one of the vendors, right? So I sat there and waited. And when they got finished, I said, "Excuse me, y'all. I had to come and talk to y'all." They said, "Oh, really?" I was like, and I was like, "Sir, man, 54 years of marriage, that's amazing. That's truly amazing, you know." And they was like, "Well, yeah, you know, everything's it's a compromise. You know, everybody can do it. You know, if you're really committed, you know, they gave me, you know, the answers, and I was just blown away at how they're still like, you know, a loving couple." And she told me that I don't know the name, so I apologize about that. But the gentleman, he was actually a pastor, right? And then the lady, the wife, she said, "Yes, I saw you," and she said, "You just had a smile on your face. You're talking to people," and she got a little bit emotional, you know, because she was like, "I have nothing to complain about because I see you doing this. So what I have going on is nothing, you know." And they told me that they go around and speak to people, you know, help them out. And they asked me, you know, how did it happen and everything like that. So I told them about the motorcycle accident, as all y'all know. And then I told them about, you know, how the doctor stopped and helped me, you know, because if it wasn't for that doctor, Dr. Lisa Lombard, the first responders would have never had a chance to get to me, you know. And it was like, oh, that's nothing but God. And they thought like this was like some divine stuff, because they were telling me that the guys that they go see, guys and girls, a lot of them are just in a very dark place, and they just don't even want to try, you know. And now they have me to talk about to some of the other people that they see, to give them inspiration, you know. And you know, they made me feel good, you know, that. And then like I said, the lady got emotional, and she was like, you know, just to see you like this, and you're out here just trying your hardest, and you got a smile on your face. You know, I told them the truth. You know, I said, you know, I want to help people too, you know, ever since I got like this, because I done been there. I done told y'all this. I done been there in the sunken place, the dark place, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so now, I mean, I just don't quit, y'all. I might take baby steps. I might get frustrated, but I just refuse to give up, you know. And I was telling them that, like, you know, all I want to do is inspire just even one person, just one, just to don't give up. You can do this. You can. You got people around you that love you. Like I said in my previous video, your mama, your daddy, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your kids, your grandkids, you know, wherever you are in life, you know. And they were telling me that, like, guys don't even want to try. They tell them to shut up and leave them alone, you know, and they don't even talk. And she said they are very bitter. And you know what? I don't blame them. I was there too. I was there, you know. But thanks to my family and friends and people around me, they kept motivating me, you know, to, you can do this, you got this. And that was how I kind of, you know, stepped out of the dark place and things like that, you know, because I just want to keep, you know, somebody from doing that ultimate, well, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I had to tell y'all that story, you know, while it was fresh in my mind, you know. And those people, really good people, you know. And it reminds me that, you know, regardless of what we see on TV, but all the propaganda and all that nonsense, you know, most of us have more in common than we do different, you know. People are just people. We're human beings. We're all social creatures, you know. And so, you know, just like with most people, I don't care where you're from, what race you are, whatever. You cool with me, I'm cool with you, you know what I'm saying? And that's just how that works, at least with me, you know. So, okay, folks, that's it for now. I'm about to leave the hospital and shoot it on to the house. Let me know what you think in the comments.